NorCal. 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Next topic, we're going to talk about some underrated R&B artists. Underrated. I'll go first. I think I wrote them down on the board, if I can remember correctly. Joe.
Okay.
Joe, to me.
Joe.
That's another guy I would love to see in concert, man.
Yes.
Bangers. Made bangers. And person that you said you don't like, Anthony Hamilton.
Sorry.
I want to say he's the male version of Erykah Badu for me.
Say, how could you not like Anthony Hamilton?
I think
Really?
he's
All
just a
eyes on me.
soulful,
I know he does a lot of songs and a lot of people appreciate him, but for me, it's Belial. Do
Okay.
you guys know who
Yes.
Belial is?
But, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you do.
Mhm.
he just showed me the video, right?
Yeah.
That was the dude.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't listen to Belial. Belial
Oh.
actually, he's got some good albums out, but he also does a lot of production for people.
Okay.
And the industry knows who he is, but the regular people don't.
Right.
So I think for me, he would be my most
Underrated. Makes sense.
Yeah, Anthony Hamilton, I don't know. I think it's just a personal thing. I'm just not into his music. Maybe it's just not hitting me.
Yeah, I get.
But
Charlene. Charlene. is-
Charlie.
I don't know who that is.
that's-
But Belial,
Play it for
they
you.
use, so Belial's song in Slim and Queen
Right.
actually came out years ago. And
Ah.
I actually have that. That was like his debut album. But he's done a ton of shit since then. He's kind of like Lauren.
Right.
Yeah, where he's done a ton of shit that people don't know.
Just comes in and out. Yeah.
hmm
That's a good one. Belial is good. We used to play him at the station all the time until they changed the format, but they don't play him. They don't play him that much anymore.
Yeah.
What do you got?
For underrated artists, man, that's a good question. Well, honestly, I mean, I mentioned him earlier, but I'll say this because, like, I remember when I was young, I used to be like, how come like more people aren't talking about him? And I just feel like he never really got his due because he was considered soft, like too soft. I think that Brian McKnight, in a certain way, is underrated. And the reason I say that is because, you know, when I go back, I was telling you guys how me and my friends, we get together and we drink and we have these slow jams, right? It's like his songs
You
don't
go
come
live
up.
next time.
Oh, I
know.
will.
I
Yeah.
love to see that.
Bro, I will. We will.
Seriously.
If they're up for it. They're not exhibitionists like me, but if they're up for it.
Maybe
But
we need to be there.
yeah. But I feel like he just never really got. I mean, I know we all appreciate him and stuff, but I just feel like he should have been a bigger star. Now, I don't know if maybe that wasn't what he was looking for. A lot of artists, you know, some artists aren't looking for like the notoriety and stuff like that. But
sold like diamond albums and shit.
I mean, I don't know if he sold diamond albums. I have no idea. You know, like I know like
I
Beyonce.
thought
I know
he did
Beyonce's. What was that?
I thought he did well.
No, he did do well. What I'm saying though is like in terms of notoriety, in terms of, you know, when I go back and I think about like all the great R&B singers, you know, I feel like Brian McKnight doesn't get put like on the as high on the list as he should. He should be higher on the list in a lot of people's minds, especially people from my generation, because we all loved his music, but we never really said to ourselves like, oh man, let's bump some Brian McKnight, you know? It was always kind of like, we'll get around to it. It's later on the track list, you know, but it wasn't like something that came out immediate. And I just thought for him being a singer-songwriter and he played the piano at the same time, he probably should have got more love than what he got. But you never really heard him on the radio that often unless it was like late night slow jams. You were never going to hear him being played, you know, like the way that they would play Drew Hill or something like that, you know, or Cisco for that matter. He wasn't poppy enough. He was just very much a crooner and he just wrote beautiful love songs, but he never got the pop culture notoriety that I think he should have gotten.
So was he more in that Anita Baker type of that
In that,
side?
yeah, on that side, yeah, I'd put him
Yeah.
more in that world. And even Anita
Yeah.
Baker, I mean, we all know who she is, but you know, she's not. You're never gonna see her. She was never gonna be like Beyonce or anything like that, you know,
no.
or even Alicia Keys. It
I
was
think
gonna
it
be
was-
like a certain lane that they were in, you know, like when you
More
really
for
wanted to
the
feel
old
something,
heads.
right. But they were young. Like they were younger, but it was like that older type of music where it's like you really want to appreciate the instruments and you really want to appreciate the lyrics and all that.
Yeah.
And I feel like Brian McKnight kind of fell in that category, but I don't think he should have been regarded higher, you know? So for me, you know, he was underrated in that regard because he just never really got the notoriety that I think he should have received.
I was telling Drew, sorry, But I was telling Drew earlier that Jamie Foxx was kind of like on that level. Because if you look at 90s Jamie Foxx,
Right.
where he did his piano and he did his singing and he did his gospel stuff, he was completely more R&B than what he came out with in the 2000s.
Yeah.
His 2000 stuff was good, but if you look at the older stuff from the 90s, which is really hard to find, he was more like Brian McKnight, and
Yeah.
he has that gorgeous voice and the piano.
Jamie Foxx is a good one in terms of underrated because I think people view him so much as a comedian
Yes.
that it kind of that
or
definitely
actor.
overshadowed, or an actor, it definitely overshadowed his musical prowess.
Yeah.
And if you really go back, man, some of the best shit that I like to jump on YouTube and listen to is his performances where he's combining the music with the comedy.
Uh-huh.
Have you guys ever seen some of this stuff?
Yes.
Like his show in Oakland. Oh my God, he's got it's just so funny. But it's the reason why it's so funny is because he's so good.
Yes.
He's got a phenomenal voice. He knows how to play the piano incredibly, and plus he's funny on top of that. So I think his acting ability and his comedy abilities overshadowed his like really good, musical skills, really profound musical skills.
Knowing that he's so artistic with everything that he does, I listen to a lot of podcasts on different shit, and when they talk about Jamie, he used to have these parties out his house,
Yes.
where he just brought people in.
Yep.
He brought like Chris Brown in before anybody knew who Chris Brown was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just had these parties where it was just creative parties, just fucking people come showcase like an open fucking mic, but at his house.
Yeah.
Of names that you can go through the list of Chris Browns, of people
Yeah.
like that, where you're like, what the fuck? And just to have that, man, I think that's dope.
Yeah.
I've said I wanted to do it. Like I said, my girl's daughter sings, and I've got certain friends that play instruments where I'm like, hey man, we just come to my house and let's do it.
Yeah, let's just do it.
A jam session, and we'll do. That's why Dave Chappelle is one of my favorite comics.
Yeah.
He's doing
That's real.
that right now in Ohio.
Yeah, with the comedy,
Yeah.
just opening it up,
Yeah.
get a venue, bring in the comics, and then just let it go.
It's like Andy Warhol used to do that with artists.
And that's where art fucking lives, man.
Yes,
So when
completely.
you bring up somebody like Jamie Foxx, you're like, fuck, man,
Uh-huh.
you just don't see. You're sleeping on the dude's talent.
That's real.
If you don't know what he's doing behind the scenes.
Yes.
The one artist I want to bring up, only because he's from my, I guess, original hometown and shit, or he claims to be. I say claims to be because you got to know El Paso for what it's worth, man. If you haven't been to El Paso, just think of Mexico on this side of the border.
Right, pretty much, yeah. And literally, that's literally what it is.
And but there's a big military base there, so people usually get stationed there and then claim that they're from there. Now, I say that because he moved there, went to high school there, graduated, and then became famous. And when I heard his first track come out, I was like, this is a fucking dope ass song, man. And we came out with Location. I was like, this shit's gonna bang.
Oh, okay.
Khalid.
Send me your location. Yeah.
So where was he really
Me and my
from?
brother will have this conversation. My brother's like, he's sorry, he's this, and I'm like,
Oh, I love him.
that song was made out of a basement. And I was
Right.
like, so when I hear certain people and they do something like that, and that's coming out from the
Yeah.
first. Well, I listen to a lot of his shit. Roller Coaster is a dope ass song from him
He's
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you know what? I want to say, and I know your man's gonna get mad at me, but I think I like him more than The Weeknd. I feel like he's
Wow.
the 2.0 version of The Weeknd. Like I feel like
We're looking at Doug like, are you gonna get mad?
I don't even know how much
So-
Khalid he listens to. Like I listen. Yeah, he doesn't.
and,
See,
Talk.
I listen to him all the time.
If you got bump in your car, man, Talk fucking bumps, bro.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hear that shit,
Yeah.
it just boom, boom. So
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna.
I guess you guys like him too, then.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
I feel like
definitely.
he's underrated. I feel like
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he
Oh,
probably
definitely.
ghostwrites a lot now. So.
For a lot of people, I think a lot of people that are underrated probably spend that so much time doing work for other folks,
Yeah.
like sharing their artistic skills with other people, especially their penmanship. I think that's probably part of the reason why some of these cats are so underrated, because they're not really focused on being the star.
Yeah.
They're not focused on being the center of attention. They can do it.
Yeah.
But they probably choose to, kind of offer themselves up in other ways for other artists too. So they're not going to get like all that shine all the time.
That was the whole thing with Luther Vandross. He started out as Patti LaBelle's backup singer.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh no, you need to be first and foremost on the stage.
Right.
And even Jodeci, they were backup dancers
Mm.
for Father MC. And
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you watch old ass Father MC videos, you're gonna see Jodeci dancing in the background.
What?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And he's like, no, y'all need to sing.
Do your own thing. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So sorry if that was a backhanded compliment to my people. But we'll leave that in there.
Boy Charlie Murphy, my main man Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.